Hello everybody, Smiley here. How you all doing? Happy Friday! It's Friday. Who's got that Friday feeling? If you're around and you fancy a cup of tea and a chat with me, today I'm going to be talking about trusting things that you can't see. So I'd really love to see who's around. Come and say hi, and let's talk about how good we are at trusting things we can't see. The really interesting topic. If you're plagued with self-doubt, or you have a busy brain like I do, or you get anxiety, or you're a worrier, or you live in fear sometimes because the future isn't predictable, is it? We don't have a crystal ball. And I think we would like to sometimes. So if I just said to you, it's all going to turn out okay, then how does that make you feel? When I just think about that, I can just feel my shoulders relax, knowing it's all going to turn out okay. And I think there's a saying, isn't there? If it's not okay, no, it will all be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. So it's not finished. So if you're watching this on the live, just give me some thumbs or some hearts or say hi. If you want to remain anonymous and just be here, then I'm very grateful for you showing up. And if you are watching on the playback, then still comment, because I still come in here and I comment to everyone that comes on this page, because I'm really grateful for people speaking up. And I've taken a stand this year and decided that I'm going to talk more about my mental health and my struggles and the things that have brought me to this job, because it's in my moments of darkness that I'm able to find my way and then pass on that knowledge and those skills and those techniques to the kids. And that's where I'm at my happiest, doing that. So thank you for being here. Now, I've got a whole bunch of notes here that I've written. I'm not going to do a long one today because this is my first one back for like ages, isn't it? I didn't do any in December. And then I got the lurgy. I got the flu. Thanks for all your get well wishes. So how are you all doing today? How are you all feeling? We are sort of halfway into the new year. I felt a bit frustrated at the beginning of the year when I was ill. I kind of had this like, I couldn't rest. I found it really hard to rest and listen to my body, because I was thinking, it's the 1st of January, I should be doing blah, 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 blah. But actually, what does that mean? What story am I making up about that? It's the 1st of January. It's the day after the 31st of December. It doesn't mean anything, does it? It's actually my best friend's birthday. It's just the stories we attach to things, the pressure. I was coaching a little girl last night, and she was talking about how she felt when she was coming to the end of the week at school and how she felt tired. I've just realised the light is just really rubbish, and I'm thinking, can you see me? That's a bit better, isn't it? That's a bit better. Hello, is that better? You can see me now. She was talking about coming to the end of the week at school and feeling really tired. So I don't know how you feel by the time it gets to Thursday, but also she talked about feeling relief. And we explored that in a bit more detail. It's like, what are you relieved about? What is this? What does it feel like? And it's the pressure of school, and it's the pressure of having to listen and having to get things right. Thanks, Karen. You can see me. I feel like I'm in darkness. Maybe that's just a reflection of how I'm feeling today. So we talked about this pressure, but the pressure that we put ourselves under, which obviously is something we cannot see, it's the meaning that we attach to it. It's the stories that we attach to our experiences in life that shape us. So in everything that happens to us, good or bad, there's a gift in it. That's what I teach the children. There's a learning. Even some of them who've been through the most appalling bullying situations, or who've lost parents, and who struggle with mental health, or have ADHD or sensory processing disorder, or Asperger's. There are flip sides to all of our struggles, aren't there? So I think we were talking on here the other day, and we were talking about post-traumatic stress disorder and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And some of you will be aware of that. But having been through that and struggled and come out the other side, you have so much empathy for anybody who is feeling overwhelmed or suffering with anxiety. And what those people need more than anything else is they don't need tools and strategies. They need acceptance of where they are. So I wanted to talk about things that we can't see, and I'm going to start off by talking about some of the things that have happened to me in the last week, things that I have not been able to see but have had to trust. So I did a lovely little post about the dog Blue yesterday, who I was wandering down by the river, and he was with 2 other dogs and his mummy, and they kind of overtook me because I was ambling along listening to a podcast, and he kept running back and like looking up at me like, and I was like, what is it? And I would bend down to stroke him, and he would kind of dodge, but then he wouldn't go anywhere. Then his owner would call him and he wouldn't come. Then he would run off. Then he would come back, and it was like he was coming back to check that I was okay. It was so cute, but I thought it was a bit coincidental because I went out walking in the rain, because I love the rain. For those of you that know me, I'm a bit strange like that. I find it really reassuring and comforting. If anyone feels like that about the rain, maybe it's because I was born in this country. It just rains all the time. So, but also what I learned from that was that I felt like he could pick up on my energy, and I feel like the kids do, and I don't mean this in a conceited way, but parents project their fear, so this is something they can't see and they're not aware of, onto their child coming to coaching. They make it is a big deal to reach out and ask for help and be brave enough to show up and have courage. I'm not minimising that. But they are fearful they're focused on outcomes, cost, how their child will respond, if their child will like it. And I can take that personally and think, God, they haven't got much faith in me. Or I can sort of rest safe in the knowledge that 99.9% of the kids that come for a session leave wanting to come back and feeling better. But you can't tell someone that, because they've got to trust and experience it and know how it feels. And I think that's how we all learn. So that's why when we're saying to our children, go to sleep, do your homework, do this, do that, and we're giving them commands, which we give them commands a lot of the time, only through their own experience and feeling it, and us trusting them to get through it and make it through the other side, will they learn? So I'm just gonna hold on. Oh, sorry, something's happened to my comments. Oh, that's it. So that happened to me. Then there was a new moon on Wednesday, and I don't know if any of you know, but I'm really into the energy of the new moon. Again, that's something you can't see, but you trust it's there. And I did a feng shui ritual with 9 red candles. I put them in a certain area of my house, and I wrote down my 9 new moon wishes. So the new moon, the energy of the new moon is all about renewal, and you'll find just before the new moon, so I don't know if any of you before Wednesday were feeling really tired and really cranky, and because we're coming into like a resting before we renew again. And the moon goes in cycles, and so does our energy. You know, women, we have our periods, men have their moon cycles as well, don't they? So that's another thing that we can't trust, but we know it's there, and we can kind of harness that really positive energy and use it to take ourselves forward. I think we have to know it's there, and it's really hard, isn't it, to trust something that you can't see. And it made me think about parenting, and how parenting is like being in a dark room sometimes, isn't it? It could be like being in a dark room and loads of people are talking to you, and you don't know which one to listen to. And you're fumbling around in the darkness. Hey Karen, hey Nikki, thanks for joining us. And then the other thing that I think is quite, and this is a bit woo-woo, so it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm going to share it anyway. Monday night I went to the Spiritualist Church to listen to Tony Stockwell, who did a platform. And I love him because he is not just an amazing medium, he's very, very, very funny, and he kind of makes light of death, and and that spirit carries on, and there's another world. And he really did prove it to us. And I felt, and this is me again with my wild heart energy, my empathy, or my lack of boundaries, however you want to look at it. If you've got wild hearts, we're really sensitive. I could feel the energy of all the people in the room. And some of those people, when they were receiving their messages, obviously they were very overwhelmed and shocked. There was a boy that came through who would have been 22 that day. He was run over in a car accident, and he came through to give his mum a message. And Tony was saying, I've got this metal thing in my hand, looks like a person. Is it have you got a key ring or a charm or something that reminds you of him? And they'd put a metal Buddha in the garden as a place of remembrance for their son. And he came through on his birthday. She didn't cry, but I was absolutely in floods of tears and really moved by it. So again, we can't see it, but we can feel it. And that reminds me of my lady, Menna, 102-year-old blind lady that I fed her Christmas dinner to on Christmas Day. She kept talking to me about how she could feel there were more people coming into the dining room, and she said, that's making my heart beat faster. And obviously all her other senses are heightened, and she's very aware of that. Lots of us are intuitive, and we're tuned into our feelings, and we listen to our bodies. And lots of us don't. Lots of us get uncomfortable with feelings that we've labelled as negative or unacceptable, and we block them out with food or alcohol or cigarettes, or we sleep on them, or we keep ourselves in a perpetual state of being busy so that we don't have to sit and think about things. That's one of my favourites, just keeping myself busy. But because I was ill before Christmas, after Christmas, and I had to slow down, I've started off my new year at a much, much slower pace. And actually, I feel much more aligned with my work, more comfortable. I feel more available for my clients, and I'm not feeling that pressure. And I'm not telling myself that story that I'm under pressure to make it right for people or to fix I'm just there to be, and I'm just a vehicle. I'm just a vehicle to help these children on their way and learn what they need to learn. Okay, I'm just going to have a look. Karen says, yes, in the same way we can't see gravity and we aren't born knowing how it works. Babies keep dropping their toys and then they're upset. That's so true. And then I can't read the rest of your message, Karen, because it only lets me read up until I'm gonna have to look at that afterwards. So these are kind of like my experiences that I've come into the new year, and I'm just thinking all of my work is based around energy, and that's why I launched the Energy Pod yesterday, which is for families. So it's all about being in tune with that part of you. And if you've got a wild heart, a strong-willed, sensitive child, I strongly recommend you join us for a weekly workout, because we aren't making time for this stuff, are we? We can be aware of it when we listen to things like this. And that's why I plug myself into podcasts when I'm going out for a walk, because I need to check in with myself quite often during the day, because I have a tendency to kind of leave my body and numb myself out. I don't use anything. It's just something I learnt to do as a child, and I'm very hypervigilant. So I'm always scanning for danger, even when there isn't danger there. But I'm getting better at that. And walking in nature is a way of grounding your energy, and I find that really good for my soul. But you've got to make time for it every day, You eat your 5 a day or your 8 a day, however many it is now. You drink your glasses of water, you get so many hours sleep, and you do all this stuff to take care of your body. But the thing is that your mental and emotional health is connected to your body, and illnesses are created in your body because you don't process your emotions and you don't deal with your feelings. Anyway, enough of the Sermon on the Mount, but you get what I'm saying. So I want you to think about the energy in your house. Feel free to comment if you want to join in, but I want you to think about, and just find one word to describe it, or a colour if you want to. Sometimes it's easier to describe it as a colour. How do you feel about the energy of let's do your home first. How cluttered is your home? How tidy and spotless is it, and pristine? Do you feel like you can't move? Is it a bit of a show home? What is the energy of your home like? If I was to come into your home, how would I feel coming into your home? Would I feel welcome? Would I feel warm? The way I felt about coming into your home, if I wasn't connected to how I feel and I was listening to my mental chatter, I might get all judgy about, it's a bit messy in here, what's going on in here, depending on my filter of the world. So have a think about what the energy of your home feels like. And then I want you to think about the energy of your family. So everyone in the family has a different energy to bring to the house, which I think contributes to the energy of how your house feels. And also there's the energy of our wider family, not just the people who live in the house. So what is that energy like? And what is that energy like when you have conflict? Is that resolved? Does that energy get cleared, or does it linger and hang around for days? Have you got someone that gives you the silent treatment? That horrible energy, like a lingering fart that just takes over the whole house. Just talk to me, don't be so childish. Or is your conflict energy like fireworks, but then it clears and it's all gone and it's let go? So what's your conflict resolution like? What's your gratitude like in your house? Do you have a daily practice of gratitude where instead of noticing what needs to be done, are you rushing around emptying the dishwasher, thinking, I must go to Waitrose and get some more milk, I've got to pick the kids up at 4, what's your mental chatter like? Or are you stopping to smell the roses? Not the lingering fart in the front room with the silent treatment. Are you stopping to smell the roses and think, oh wow, this cup of tea is really lovely. I'm really enjoying this cup of tea. I'm letting it go cold because I'm chatting to you. So what is that energy like in your house? And then I want you to think about the energy when your kids get up in the morning. So when you think about different times of energy during the day. So when you get up in the morning, are you all getting up late and frantically running around? Or have you prepared stuff the night before? Are you organised? Are you grumpy in the morning? What's your energy like in the morning? Are you good at raising your vibration and setting yourself up for the day? Are you able to check in with yourself and make sure you set your intention for the day so you know where you're at? What's the energy like when your kids come home from school? Because they bring all that energy from the classroom. And if you've got a strong-willed, sensitive child, they will have, like Velcro, they will have picked up all the energy of all of the people in the classroom, bring it home to vomit all over you. Lovely. So we need to help them with that. So what is the energy like after school? And then what is the energy like? There's energy attached to words. Like when you say, right, let's do a homework, or let's get in the bath, or let's go to bed. What's that energy like? How does the energy change in your house? And what is the energy of bedtime like in your house? Is it calm and relaxed? Is it calm and relaxed? Or is it a power struggle? Or is it fraught with you feeling angsty and projecting your angst onto the fact, how are you going to get the kids into bed because you've got things that you need to be doing? Or is it calm and peaceful? Do you have enough time to wind down from the day? Do you make sure that you connect with your kids? Because bedtime is a really good time to help your children ground their energy and to connect back into you. So imagine it's like you're plugging in your mobile phone and they get a charge from you and they need to feel and rest in your love before they go off to sleep. I sent a newsletter out actually last night to the people who are in my online learning den, who've bought programs in my online learning den, and I offered them the Smiley Sweet Dreams pack for half price, which is a tenner, because I said to them, it doesn't matter how many times you tell your children, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. If they're not feeling relaxed and comfortable in their bodies, they won't be able to go to sleep. So think about that energy and think about how you can change it and just be mindful of it when you're around it. So Nikki's saying we're quite good at gratitude and grateful for what we do. And someone's having coffee. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Oh, Nikki's saying she's got a cluttered home. Karen's saying she's got a relaxed home. Yeah. So, and we all have the power as parents. Children don't have the emotional maturity or the tools to be aware of their environment, but one of our jobs as parents is to keep them safe and make sure that the environment or the energy that they're in a lot of the time is loving and kind and safe and predictable. But the problem is that being a parent is an unpredictable job, because human beings are unpredictable and we're not in control of them. So this is why this morning, lots of you have already asked to join the group. I'm doing a masterclass or a mini free training next Wednesday, and it's going to be called How to Trust in Your Ability to be a Confident Parent. Because if you're able to trust yourself, by trusting yourself, you will automatically change the energy in your house. So you have the power to set the tone of the house. So, you know, I'm joking when I say the person that gives the silent treatment like a stinky trump, but actually the silent treatment is abusive, because if you communicate to that person that you're not ready to talk and you're finding it really uncomfortable, and lots of us shy away from conflict because of the way conflict was dealt with when we were growing up, but if you communicate what's going on for you, then it's okay to withdraw and have time out. That's different to punishing somebody with the silent treatment to regain control of the energy in the house. And children who have too much power, think of a toddler that just running riot, doesn't respond to no, hasn't got any boundaries. Children who have too much power are out of control, and it will scare them. It will scare them, and they will start to get controlling. They will start to tell you what to put on the telly. They will start to tell you what you need. Mummy, you need to do that, and stamp and stamp and stamp until you do it. They need boundaries to feel safe. They really do. The relaxations before bed help. Yeah, they're amazing. And the thing is that people don't understand that by doing the relaxations, you actually changing the energy and you're getting your body relaxed and ready for sleep. It's that simple. And through repetition and habit, you will find a new routine for going to sleep. It's really, really simple. And it's a really nice thing to do. So in this masterclass, we're going to talk about how good you are at trusting yourself and your child. We're going to talk about how good you are at not knowing things. You know, actually not knowing is a big trigger when kids come to coaching. Parents do not get the ins and outs of a cow's what's his name after a session. Obviously they can talk to their children about it and their children choose what they share, but parents, would that trigger you? The not knowing, and that's part of your ability to trust everything. Trust life, trust me, trust your child, trust the process of coaching, which you can't see. But you have to trust that it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it does. And I feed off that. Sometimes when parents aren't trusting and they are not being boundaried, they're invading my boundaries and emailing me and saying, what's going on? I then have to watch my energy, because if I buy into their fear and I buy into their triggering and I don't hold my boundaries, one, I'm not helping that child, and two, I'm not helping that parent either. I'm not helping that relationship. I don't want to be a go-between between parents and children. I want them to talk to each other. That's my job, is to improve their relationship. 80% of parental exhaustion is fear, guys. 80%. So in this mini training, I'm going to teach you how to transform that fear into other feelings which have a higher vibration, which are more positive, and your children will be resting in that energy. It's quite exciting. So that takes place next Wednesday, the 24th of January at 8:30. And there's nothing, you don't have to sign up. You just need to add yourself to the Facebook group. So it's www.facebook.com/groups/Smiley freebie. I will put the link in below when I come offline, but I'd love to see you all there. I'm going to create a little workbook with some journaling, like reflection questions. We're going to go through them together, and we're going to look at ways of how we can transform this fearful energy into other feelings which will make you feel more secure. And I want you to be more connected to yourself and your innate ability to parent and know what's right, to listen to yourself, because you have it. And you know, while we're on the subject, that's why I created, hold on a minute. That's why I created the Smiley thought cards. Because when I had anxiety and depression, I couldn't trust myself. And that was born out of things that happened to me in my life. And so what I would do is I did my angel cards every day, and they gave me answers. And every time they reflected back to me what was going on inside myself. And I think that's what they do to the kids. The kids that aren't confident doubt themselves. And so they have this cards, and they find it a great source of comfort to go to the cards and ask them a question and get the answer that they need. Obviously, they know the answer themselves. But over time, the more that they do that, the more that they learn to trust their own intuition and listen to their body. Listen to their body. So while I'm online, has anyone... Yes, and Karen, you do need to remember to use them, which is why I'm doing the energy pod, because the energy pod was born out of a mum who contacted me, who I've worked with before. I've coached her daughter before, and she's come to like my summer club last year and various other things. And she said to me, we've got all the gear and no idea. Like, we've got the cards, we've got the downloads, we watch your videos on YouTube. And people do say that to me, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, people say kids come home from school cranky and they watch one of your videos and it lifts them. Or we do a smiley thought card and it lifts them. So obviously there's a positive anchor, there's a positive energy attached to me, which the children find, comforting. And that's more than I could hope for, because I'd love to be a source of comfort to people. I don't want anyone out there battling on their own. But the reason why I created the energy pod is because it's like you go to the gym for your sessions, or you go for a workout, you go for a run. I want us to do a weekly workout where we're creating these habits so that you're fit. I want you to be able to, it's a practical thing, to fit them into your daily life. And if you're coming for 45 minutes a week to hang out with me in that energy as a group, we're going to be really powerful. You're going to be marinating in that energy, and so are your kids. But your kids are going to be learning how to manage their own energy and take care of their own emotional and mental well-being. And I think it's really important, because I'm guilty of that. I don't make time. I journal. I wait till things get to crisis point, till I'm upset about something, and I go and pull an angel card, or I go and journal, or I book an appointment to see my therapist, or I check in with my mastermind group and see how they're all doing. You've got to do it every day. You've got to do it every day to stay in the zone. And it's not difficult. It's about prioritising it. And that's what we're going to talk about in the masterclass, because we don't prioritise it, because it's a bit like the person who doesn't stop smoking until they have a heart attack, or the person who doesn't stop drinking until they hit rock bottom. It's too late when you hit rock bottom. And I've been to rock bottom enough times in my life, like I really have been there, to know that you've got to make it a priority. So whatever else you're doing that you think is more important than taking care of your, doing your self-care mums, or your practical, emotional, mental things that you do every day to take care of that part of you, it's got to be a priority. And now I feel like I'm lecturing you. I'm saying it for myself as well, because I'm guilty of that too. And other things I make a priority, getting on Twitter for 2 hours, watching Big Brother. That is disassociating and disconnecting from myself, because I feel overwhelmed and there's something going on with me, and there are more positive things I can do, like have a bath, or call a friend, or journal, or go to bed early, or go out for a walk, than disconnecting in that way. But you don't disconnect from yourself. Stay with yourself. Your little person that's inside of you, your inner child spitting, needs you. How do I subscribe to YouTube? Oh, Karen, I will put the link to YouTube below. You can just you can Google Smiley Coach YouTube. There are I think there's 120 videos on there of me. Brilliant. Doesn't everyone just want 120 videos of me? Zoe says, what's the energy pod? So the energy pod, I posted a video of it yesterday. I'll post it again. You're welcome, Karen. The energy pod is a weekly workout for families. It's 45 minutes long. It's on a Monday at 5 o'clock. It will be recorded. So if you book a session, you'll be emailed a recording of the session to watch it at your leisure. It will be a melange, a smiley melange, a mix of a fusion of dancing, music, yoga, mindfulness, guided visualization, storytelling, and learning. So it's all the fun stuff. If anyone did a summer club in the summer, the week's free coaching I did, it's going to be like that, but you're going to be doing it every week. So it's, you know, it's got a cumulative effect. You're going to be building on it. You're going to be and you'll be surprised how children respond to it. And of course, I'm going to tell you that because that's my job. But I promise you, like parents, again, they're projecting their energy, going, oh, well, they're not going to sit still for 45 minutes. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get them to close their eyes. And I have ways of making them do that. That's my job. But no, seriously, they will. And if you do it and you like it, they follow your energy and they take your lead. And if they see you doing it, they want to be like mummy. They want to do... I remember doing Jane Fonda in the front room with my mum because I wanted to be like her. Yes, they did love the summer. Well, I think you'll really like it. It's every Monday. It's £10. It's /energy pod. It's on the website. And you just pay as you go, come along. So if you can't come one week, you just don't book. And then you can come the next week. You could come twice a month, or you could make a commitment to come once a month. You don't have to come every week. But it's a really good way also to connect with me because I'm going to try and fit into it a Q&A session for parents and children so people can ask me stuff, you know, in a more, not so exposed out here on Facebook, in a smaller group environment. I do ASD. I do because I believe I don't see those children as the label that they've been given by doctors. It's not because I don't agree with what the doctors are saying. I believe that those children, they either have too much energy in their bodies or not enough. And in fact, I coached a little boy last Friday. God, I'm going on now, so I'm going to go in a minute. But I just quickly tell you the story because it's amazing. I coached a little boy on Friday who has been diagnosed with ADHD. He sat with me for 50 minutes and did not move. He was totally engaged in what I was saying. We drew a picture of his aura, which was purple and green. And I showed him a picture of my aura that I'd had taken by one of these magical cameras. And we talked about his energy, and he could really relate to that. And I didn't really know if he was getting it, but he was drawing it and we were doing it. And we were talking about crystals and we were talking about grounding your energy and protecting it. And he's been on all my other workshops, so he kind of got it. And I said to him, have you got any questions now that we've come to the end of our session? What a beautiful picture. Take that home, put it up by your bed and remember to take care of your aura. And he said, what do I do if my aura gets small? Because I think at times when he's in environments where he feels overwhelmed or things are going on in his body, he doesn't feel like he's in control of it. So it's a really good way to get children to feel empowered about what's going on in their bodies. So many times they look to us because we're always giving them commands, but actually we should be giving it back to them and saying, how does that feel? How does that feel? How does that feel for you? Anyway, that's what this mini training is about giving you as parents the tools to trust in yourself, but also to be able to give some power back to your child without being scared of relinquishing control, because quite frankly, none of us are in control of anything apart from ourselves. All right? Oh, good. I'm glad you're going to be there. That's great. We would love to have you there. Yes, of course we can have a chat, Zoe. Zoe, if you go to my website, smileyforlife.com/booking, there is an option to select a clarity call with me. You get 20 minutes free with me. You fill out a little questionnaire because then that kind of saves us a bit of time when we're talking. And then there's no obligation to do anything other than, and I will give you advice and help you and try and understand what's going on for your family. I do a lot of clarity calls a week, and that doesn't always mean that people have to have coaching or have to buy something from me. Sometimes people just need the reassurance that, you know, they're on the right path or they're heading in the right direction. But if you come to the mini training, you don't need me to tell you that you're doing it right, because you will learn how to know and trust that you're doing it right. You're very welcome. Thank you all for being here today. I hope to see some of you next Wednesday evening at 8:30. I shall put all the links for all the things that I've talked about below. YouTube channel, masterclass, energy pod. Anything else? Yes, get your angel cards out. I do mine every morning with a cup of tea and every night before I go to sleep. And sometimes I journal on them depending on what they tell me. All right, and you got these ones for the kiddie winks. Right, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. What are you all doing? Have you got nice things planned? I'm Skyping my friend that lives in New York, which is quite exciting. You're very, very welcome. Has anyone got anything else they want to ask me while I'm here? Will let my tea go cold? No, we're all good. Are we all good? I love chatting to you. It's been too long, hasn't it? I sometimes just think that I'm always on here and I don't want to get up in people's faces. That's my stuff. Okay, well, have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I shall see you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.